Greetings, geeks and nerds, and lazy universe, and white and nerdy, and it's time for a lazy universe movie review for you. And it's time for me to check out and review Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which is a movie I've been pretty kind of hyped to see. I mean, some of the hype around the movie has had me interested and had me curious in seeing how this movie was going to be played out, how it was going to be handled. And I'm happy to say that despite my first opinion being like, I don't want to see this movie sucks, to being like, okay, this movie is awesome, I'm glad that my opinions have changed and I'm here to review this movie for you. Just to be forewarned for a lot of people coming into this review, there might be some spoilers, so minor warning of spoilers that might be ahead in this review. I try to keep them out of the review though. But if you've seen Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, let us know what you think about it and comment down below. No spoilers for people that haven't seen it, but just feel free to share your own opinions in the comments down below with everybody, and on with the review. But before I get into this review, I just want to share a kind of sad story that ended up happening here. And it is kind of sad. See, I was originally planning on holding on to this review until January and then uploading it in January. That is not the case of what happened, unfortunately. Again, what probably happened, which it has happened before with me, and I'm thinking that it happened again. I had this review uploaded and recorded, and then all of a sudden, the review suddenly just disappeared. Like it never existed. Although what's funny is that the thumbnail that I made for this review was still around, except the video was gone. So trying to figure out what happened to that fucking video is beyond me. Maybe it could have been a glitch that happened with my phone. Maybe it could have been another inconvenience of what the damn hell happened. I will never find out. So now I have to be here and doing this again and trying to remember my own opinions on this movie. Yeah, sometimes the life of a YouTuber is not as all it's cracked up to be as some people think it is. Some people think, oh, hey, YouTubers have it pretty easy. No, man. No, we fucking do not. You would be damn surprised how hard it is for us YouTubers to sometimes not only just keep a video, upload it without any problems, like copyright issues happening whatsoever, and it is a pain in the padded ass, my friend. But let's just hope that everything goes well in this one, and that nothing happens. I just wanted to share that with you. So immediately, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves kind of does feel like, well, it's pretty obvious that it kind of feels like Guardians of the Galaxy, because when this movie starts out, basically our main hero is actually already in prison. And he's in prison while trying to plead a case to the people for letting him out early, giving him an early dismissal, and unfortunately nobody believes poor Edgin, played by the brilliant Chris Pine. Find out that Edgin has a daughter named Kira that he wants to get back to, but unfortunately that he had some differences coming their way and trying to free her. Not only that in his regard, but it turns out that his last partner, played by Hugh Grant, is actually against him, so it's up to him to form a new alliance with new teammates. This is why actually I have put that like I said that this movie is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy is because it's about a rag band team of people all coming together to form a team. Of course, you could also make it refer to the Suicide Squad, or even referring to the Avengers, or any team rather, because it's about a team of misbanded heroes coming together, and that is nice. One thing I want to point out, though, is that they actually referenced the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon show that was around in the 80s to 90s, I think it was, which is a very nice Easter egg and a very nice nod that happened towards the end of the movie. And it was very nice that they threw in that little nod of like, hey, remember Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon series, which I do because I've seen reruns of it, and it was kind of like, yeah, that cartoon about these people? Yeah, guess what? We bringing them into this movie. They don't really have much of lines of dialogue, but it's nice in there, kind of like, and they end up being captured towards the end of it. It's a big thing that happened toward the end of this movie, but and instead of saving them, they leave them for death. So I kind of think that it's a nice little nod of like, we're passing the torch down from these original heroes into these ones, and I think that's kind of nice how it all starts out too. But also, you can draw a comparison with that the characters in this movie are very much resemblant in a way toward Eiichiro Oda's even own One Piece series that is popular. How the movie kind of band together people, kind of like a band of pirates, and they all have to come together for one common cause to try to save the world and also save Edgin's daughter from being kidnapped. And I gotta say, very similar to One Piece, you will find your own favorite character throughout this entire movie, since all of the main characters here in this movie are all damn fantastic, and they all have their own certain charms and opinion to them all. And despite all the differences and everything that they go through, every single teammate on this team ends up helping out one another exactly toward the end of the movie, which is something that is well needed in a film like this. I mean, this movie does have a pretty large cast of characters, and in fact, every single one of them does not feel any more superb than the rest of them. I will be honest too, the special effects really did blow me away. I was surprised I was in love with a lot of the special effects that ended up happening in this movie a lot more than I actually thought that I would, because I thought that I would hate them. And thankfully in this movie there is a good counterbalance between having too much CG with also just the right amount of practical effects, which I think that this movie really did need in my opinion. I mean, man, we live in a day and age where mostly practical effects are no longer necessary, and they're going to the CGI effect or even the AI effect now, and it's like gone are kind of the days in a sense of having practical effects. So a movie like this that combines using great CGI effects with some amazing practical effects is also well needed in a movie like this. But I do notice that they try to counterbalance it so there's not too much CG, but there's just the right amount of it, and there's just the right amount of practical effects. And I'm happy to say that this movie had done both of them. And the cast is very well great in this movie. I loved every single one of them. You have Edgin, the thief slash the bard of this movie. You have Holga, which is basically, I guess, the barbarian of the group. You have Simon, who is a young wizard. He's up and coming. He's trying to be the best that he can be, the best sorcerer or wizard that he can be. He's no Doctor Strange, but he's trying his best. You have Doric, who is how would you say it, a doge? She's basically a shapeshifter. She can change forms and whatnot. And I am glad that Doge, or the shapeshifter Doric, is not CG, but she is practical effects combined with CG, and that makes me so happy that we have that. Which I know that, yeah, shape shifting and practical effects can look awkward or bizarre, so I'm happy that they use just the right amount of CG to make it look great. That is awesome, and I really do appreciate that. And then there is and then there is the warrior who is named Zent, and unfortunately he's not in the film very long. But hopefully, if this film does get a sequel, he'll have a lot more lines of dialogue because he's a pretty cool character. He's a lot of people's favorite character in this movie. But he doesn't have that many lines of dialogue. He just shows up for about 15 minutes in the movie and then he's just gone. And then he reappears toward the end of it. I have to say, though, for the villain of this movie, even though it's not really Hugh Grant, there is somebody working with Hugh Grant. As soon as I saw on the back that Hugh Grant was in this, plus also he kind of went and cover on the DVD cover, I was like, you're gonna have Hugh Grant as the villain, and shockingly enough, Hugh Grant was the villain, and it's like, Hugh Grant is a great actor, I have nothing against him, God bless him, he is such a great guy, he's a terrific actor, and any role that he's given, he plays with such a charm and on his own, but even I was kind of like, come on, man, can we give Hugh Grant something, like different to do in this movie. But above all else, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is kind of like a breath of fresh air coming in. I mean, we haven't had a fantasy film in like quite a long time, so it was nice to have a breath of fresh air with a fantasy film that just has the right amount of everything that you need. And this is also one of the funniest films that I have seen too. The comedy in this is so damn great, and that's mostly due to the actors and actresses that counterbalance off of each other. This movie is so well written, and it's better with everybody in the acting department playing off of each other. The chemistry between every single actor and actress in this is just superb. Not any one of them has a bigger role over the other one, and I think that's great in a movie like this, where you can just kind of balance out the characters very equally between each other, and that is exceptional. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves is a fantastic movie. It has its shine moments and its bright moments, but it also had some pretty dark moments in it, surprisingly, especially for a film that's based off of a beloved property. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Did you like Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves? Did you not like it? Did you hate it? Did you dislike it? Let me know in the comment section down below because I really did and truthfully love this movie. Like I said, it is a breath of fresh air among movies that is happening right now, and Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves was a great movie and a great experience for me to have just right here in my very own home. This is one of those movies, and I've seen a lot of them that did this to me too, but this is one of those movies that just surprised me a lot more than I'd like to admit, because at first I was like, I didn't want to see this movie. I was judging a book by its cover, and then surprisingly enough that it really did shock me because so many people I follow on both YouTube and also Twitter were like, no, this movie is really good. It's really funny. It has its charms. It has its moment. And I would kind of be in that dick, in the background, kind of going like, but it wouldn't be such a good movie to have. And surprisingly enough, I don't know why I went Bill Cosby there, but surprisingly enough, that it has such great charm in it. The actors' chemistry is beautiful. The special effects, like I said, it's just a perfect blend of CG and practical effects, which is awesome. And I really do hope that this film does get a sequel because Peter Jackson is talking about buying the right to this movie so he can, or purchase the right to this movie or something, so that he can work on a sequel for this. And hopefully that ends up becoming true if Peter Jackson is either the director or the producer or both on it, because Peter Jackson and fantasy, it just goes hand in hand like maple syrup on pancakes. So my final thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves is that it's a damn decent film, and it is already one of my favorite films of 2024. It's hilarious. It had great special effects. I loved every person that was a part of this movie, and it's just an exceptional movie all the way around. Bottom line, I'm gonna give it a Funko Pop rating of an Inuyasha. It really did, like Inuyasha's wind scar, just blow me away and blew me out of the water by how damn good and how damn funny that this movie is. And you should definitely go and see it if you have the chance. So, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves earn my Funko Pop rating of an Inuyasha. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. And let me know your own thoughts and opinions about Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves if you've seen it in the comments down below. But just try to leave no spoilers for any other person that hasn't seen this movie yet. I'm just trying to get people excited. But in all sincerity, I really did enjoy this movie, and I hope that you do as well if you haven't seen it yet. Because again, it is very much like Guardians of the Galaxy, or it is very similar to also Extra Oda's One Piece. So if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking out Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. This has been a Lazy Universe movie review, and as always, I'm a Lazy Universe. I will wait you nerdy, keep you canon, and as always, guys, thanks for watching.